Good morning, everyone. Now we are going to see about crop nutrient management. These are the essential plant nutrients that plays a major role in the growth and development of plants. Okay, there are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, which are derived from atmosphere, soil, and water. And another 13 essential elements are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, zinc, manganese, copper, boron, molybdenum, and chlorine are supplied either from soil minerals and soil organic matter by either organic fertilizers or inorganic fertilizers. What is meant by organic fertilizer and inorganic fertilizer? The organic fertilizers which are naturally available and cause less harmful to the environment are no harmful, but the inorganic fertilizers were chemically made fertilizers, but they cause some harmful effects to the environment, but both are useful while growing the crops. Okay, the next slide. Classification of nutrients. Menzel and Kirby 1978 classified the plant nutrients based on the biochemical behavior and physiological function into 4 groups. The group 1 will be carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. These are the major nutrients of organic material involved in enzymatic processes and oxidation reduction reactions. Then group 2 will be phosphorus and boron. They involved in energy transfer reactions with native algal groups in plants. Then group 3 will be potassium, calcium, magnesium, manganese, chlorine, and neon. This plays an osmotic and ion balance roles, plus more scientific function in enzymatic conformation and catalysis. Then group 4 will be iron, copper, zinc, and molybdenum, present as structural chelates of metalloproteins. These elements enable to electron transfer by valency change. Okay. Then functions of essential nutrients. Number 1, carbon. Carbon is essential for each and every living organism. The basic molecular component is carbon. The carbon is the component of carbohydrate, protein, and lipids. Then oxygen. In somewhat like carbon, oxygen also important for all those living organisms. Next, hydrogen. Hydrogen plays a major role in plant metabolism, some ionic balance, and reducing agent play a key role in energy release of cells. Next one is nitrogen. It is the component of many important organic components ranging from protein to nucleic acid. It is the integral part of chlorophyll, which primarily absorbs light energy needed for photosynthesis. Then phosphorus. Central role in energy transfer and protein metabolism. It is an important structural component of many biochemical, including nucleic acid, DNA, RNA, are associated with the control of hereditary process. It also associated with increased root growth and early maturity of crops. Then potassium. Potassium helps in osmotic and ionic regulations. Potassium also gives the disease resistance to the field crops of many field crops. Then calcium. It is involved in cell division and cell elongation. It's a major role in growth. Then magnesium, component of chlorophyll and cofactor for many enzymatic reasons. It's a structural component in rhizomes. Then sulfur, like phosphorus, it is involved in plant cell energesis. It is associated with the chlorophyll formation and sulfur containing amino acids. Then iron, an essential component of hemo and non-hemo ion enzymes and carriers, including cytochromes, respiratory electron carriers, and ferredoxins. Then zinc, it is a constituent of several enzyme systems regulating various metabolic reactions. Manganese involved in oxygen evolving system of photosynthesis. It can be substitute for magnesium in many of phosphorylating and group transfer reactions. It influences oxygen level in plants. Oxygen is the present in growing tip of the plant, which helps for growth of the plants. Then copper, it acts as an electron carrier which transfers the electron in oxidation reduction reactions. Then boron is essential for development growth of new cells. Without boron, the new cells become dry and plant will not grow. Then molybdenum, it is essential component of enzyme nitrate reductase in plant. Then chlorine, essential for photosynthesis is chlorine, and it is an activator of enzymes in splitting water. Nickel is essential for regulating the nitrogen metabolism, grain filling, and seed viability. If deficiency in nickel means the grain filling and viability of the grain is not good. Then macronutrients and micronutrients. The macronutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur. Micronutrients are chlorine, iron, boron, manganese, zinc, copper, molybdenum and nickel. Macronutrients are larger requirement of plants which require larger amount in plants for their growth and development. Macronutrients are grouped into two parts. This is primary nutrients and secondary nutrients. The primary nutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and the secondary nutrients are calcium, magnesium, sulfur. The primary nutrients which are needed in higher amount for the growth and development, but the secondary nutrients also needed but not that much amount. Then macronutrients in plants. Macronutrients in plants provide energy to the plants for the growth and development. Most of the important elements required for the crops are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, oxygen, carbon and hydrogen. Oxygen, carbon, nitrogen are the essential thing for the growth and development. In addition to the macronutrients are other category which are needed in lesser amount in doing the some other metabolic activities like grain filling, boating, tillering, growth. Such important micronutrients are boron, chlorine, magnesium, copper, zinc, molybdenum and nickel. Role of microorganisms in organic decomposition. While decomposing of any organic matter, microorganism plays a major role because microorganisms involved in making of compost materials. For example, in humus and soil organic matter complex, there is lot of microorganism. So that microorganism involved in decomposing of the organic matters. Then humus formation. Humus is the dark organic material that forms in soil when plants and animal matter decays. The plant drop leaves, twigs and other material groups. This material is called leaf litter. When animal die and remains at the litter. Then importance of C/N ratio. C/N ratio controls the decomposition rate. C/N ratio leads to the slow decomposition rate. Nutrient immobilization may occur. Carbon and energy wastage in large quantities. Activity of microorganisms restricted. The total amount of N is limited. Narrow C/N ratio. Carbon and energy starvation occur. The plant residues decompose quickly and release nitrates readily. Then C/N ratio residues helps determine the rate of decay and rate of N is made available to this plant. For example, speed of decomposition becomes this slow with more C/N and wide C/N ratio, and the speed of decomposition resides high with the low C/N ratio. Then nutrient management. Nutrient management is nothing but the supply of these essential nutrients such as micronutrients, macronutrients in a proper manner. Okay, nutrient management is nothing but the giving of nutrients to the plant growth on this correct time. Integrated nutrient management. Integrated nutrient management is combined application of chemical fertilizers and the organic fertilizers, which is called integrated nutrient management. Integration of both organic fertilizers and inorganic fertilizers is integrated nutrient management. The components of integrated nutrient management are nutrients stored in soil, nutrient purchased from farm, nutrient purchased from any fertilizer shops. Plant nutrient lost from field during crop harvest also comes under components of nutrient. Importance of nutrient management. Nutrient management is important for plant growth, helps to reduce the contamination of water waste by plants, improve the soil fertility, enhance the plant productivity, and reduce the negative effects of the plants. Manures and fertilizers. Manures can be classified into two kinds as biology material: compost, vermicompost. Compost is making by using the farm waste by decomposing using microorganisms. Vermicompost is prepared by using earthworms in the compost. Then green manures. Green manures are the plants which are grow in the soil and incorporate itself in the soil. They are called green manure. The another one is the green leaf manure, which is nothing but the green leaves that has been cut off from the trees outside the field and sowing it in it. Then fertilizers. The fertilizers are commercially available in fertilizer shops. Use of fertilizers the major thing is the use of fertilizer to be monitored, because adding of more fertilizers will cause the negative effects to the soil. So the optimization of fertilizer for the crop production is much more important. Then importance of nutrient management. Importance of nutrient management contains the soil contains the small quantity of nutrients, and also organic matters contains also less amount of nutrients. So the bulk amount of organic matter is needed to giving the soil plants, but in chemical fertilizer the small amount of is needed. NPK fertilizers, definition of fertilizers and their classification. The fertilizers are classified on the base and the nature of the nutrient element like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. There are various nitrogenous fertilizers like ammonium sulfate, calcium ammonium sulfate, basic ammonium sulfate, urea, etc. Obviously, these fertilizers supply the nitrogen to the soil. Similarly, there are various phosphatic chemical fertilizers like superphosphate, lime, triple superphosphate, single superphosphate, double superphosphate, which supplies the phosphorus to the plant. Then potassium, muriate of potash. Muriate of potash will helps to supply the potassium to the crops. This type of fertilizers, calcium ammonium nitrate. This is the nitrogenous fertilizer, which is the amount of nitrogen is 20% in this fertilizer. Then superphosphate of lime. This contains the phosphorus of exactly about 16 to 20% of phosphorus in it, which means the 100 kg of superphosphate contains the 16 to 20 kg of phosphorus only. So we need to calculate how much amount of phosphorus needed, how much amount of this fertilizer is needed. Then urea. Urea contains the 46% of the nitrogen fertilizer. Then calcium cyanide. Calcium cyanide, also called nitroleum, which is basically nitrogen fertilizer, which doesn't affect the crops. Calcium nitrate. This is the nitrogenous fertilizer in market. Obviously. Then method of fertilizer application. There are a lot of methods in fertilizer application. The main method is broadcasting. Next one is placement. Placement under the plant. Then foliar application. Foliar application is nothing but just spraying by using these sprayers, by dissolving it in water. Then injection into the soil. Application of solid fertilizer. There is broadcasting, placement, band placement, pelleting method. Then integrated pest nutrient management, which is called IPNM, which is both combined management of pests, which are the insects that affects in the plants, and nutrient. Nutrient is the essential nutrient given to the plant. Component of IPNS. IPNS contains the organic, inorganic, biological fertilizers and plant protection materials. Components of INM. INM contains the organic fertilizers and the inorganic fertilizers. Broadcasting is the method of directly throwing into the field. Then top dressing is given to the plants while their growth time. Then placement is placing the fertilizers into the exact zone of the plant where it is needed. Plowing sole placement, which is nothing but while plowing the fertilizer is thrown by the bag. Then deep placement is nothing but digging the field by spade and placing it deeper layers. Then localized placement is placing near the plant. Then drilling is nothing but there is some drillers, the fertilizer comes seed drill like that. While drilling that one, the driller make the hole. In that hole, both the seed and fertilizer will